So finally, after 4 years, Tesla has delivered the Cybertruck to the first owners. The delivery event was today. It took place maybe a couple hours ago, about noon Pacific time. I'll link the video to that below, but if you go to the Tesla website, you'll now see the Cybertruck as a new option under the vehicles, and it brings you to this page with the option to order. And we'll go over to the pricing and the specs shortly. This was something that was long anticipated, and a lot of people didn't think this would happen, but I'm someone who did place a reservation when they announced this, and the pricing's a lot different than what it was back then. However, the overall look and the aim for what this was meant to accomplish, which was to be a leader in the truck segment, which is the #1 selling vehicle in the United States, with the Ford F-150 as being almost 1 million vehicles a year. So this was a really important car for Tesla. A couple of things that I'm excited about, as you know, this is a lot more content that they're pushing out on all the tools that it can power for you if you use it for different purposes: camping, adventure, commuting, road trips, etc. And this is something that I would definitely check out. A lot of this isn't, we don't have all the details on the Cybertruck, so there's going to be a lot of accessories that you can see here that they don't have pricing on yet, but they're claiming to provide. And then for the range, there was a big change there down to sub 400 range. However, if you go to the main website and scroll all the way down, you'll see that there's something called a range extender. They didn't talk about this in the delivery event, and it is something that's only on the website. So there's basically 3 versions. Keep in mind, when this was unveiled in 2019, there was a $39,000 version for the rear-wheel drive, a $49,000 version for the all-wheel drive, and then a tri-motor version at $69,000. And we've since had significant increases in price. And the range is supposed to be above 400 and above 500, respectively. Right now, we're looking at 320 for the performance, or they're calling the Cyber Beast. When we go to the all-wheel drive, you'll notice what changes. Essentially, the acceleration and the range and the top speed. Nothing of the other details on the size of the vehicle or its towing capacity or cargo is changing. 470-mile range with the range extender. I'm guessing this must be something that it won't be permanently on the car. The fact that they're calling it an extender, while other brands have also called things extenders, they may build it into the vehicle as an upgrade, or it's something that you maybe be able to attach to the vehicle to give yourself extra range if you need to, assuming it's adding a lot of weight to the vehicle, though, if you are to go that option. And then a rear-wheel drive, which has a lot less specs, lower priority, lower price point, and it does say available in 2025. This is making some big promises on the delivery, as the first delivery units don't always mean they have volume production, as we saw this with the Semi. I haven't heard too much about that. They delivered the first few vehicles, but in mass production hasn't necessarily ramped up compared to their other vehicles that are, of course, more mass market. But something like the Cybertruck, this is something where if you are clicking on the order page, so we'll get into the pricing, they are saying delivery in 2024 for the all-wheel drive. So something to keep in mind is they are putting in the probable savings. That's like a common sales tactic that Tesla uses, is to give you the potential savings, which assumes tax credit eligibility plus gas savings, which have some assumptions built into that. So the purchase price here, you're looking at about just under $61,000 for the rear-wheel drive currently, although that could definitely change by the time this is actually available, if they even produce it. But then the all-wheel drive, we're looking at 340-mile range, really good specs otherwise, although starting at $80,000. And then the Cyber Beast, or what you might think is the performance, traditionally is a $100,000 vehicle, 320-mile range, and all of this really good stats on how powerful this vehicle will be. The interesting part is, though, is that it does say delivery in 2024, which, if Tesla is doing any type of volume production, that's a lot of vehicles that they anticipate to produce, as well as, or they anticipate a decent number of cancellations now that the price is literally $30,000 more for the all-wheel drive, and 20,000 or 30,000 more as well for the performance. And then the rear-wheel drive, of course, is significantly more. It's about 30,000 increase almost across the board. The other feature that I thought was actually really interesting, right? So the other things ended up being true. They have really reinforced glass that's supposedly rock proof. The body is bulletproof with 45 caliber 9mm bullets. And then the other thing that was not mentioned in the delivery event that we found is Powershare. So this is actually potentially making this worthwhile for a lot of owners who are thinking about buying power walls. This may require you not to do that because you're essentially tapping into the power of the Cybertruck to not only power, it has a 240 volt architecture for home backup, as well as your tools and other things you might want to plug in. Also has 120 volt outlets, but the home backup allows 11 kilowatts of continuous power, which is pretty amazing. This is double what I'm able to pull from a single power wall. And if you have a power wall and a Gen 3 wall connector, maybe it doesn't even need to be Gen 3, but it just says wall connector, this will just work right out of the box. So the same system you have with your house with your power wall and charger, you're just going to be able to run off the grid, no power, or those looking to expand your power walls. All that money you would have invested into those power walls, you could just use towards a Cybertruck and get a lot more utility out of the vehicle. It's also going to be able to charge other vehicles if they're stranded or need if you need to give another vehicle power in the event of an outage. This is pretty amazing. It's claiming 3 days backup, assuming that you need no more than 30 kilowatts per day. And it's just an amazing a feature that was unexpected and not announced in a delivery event that I'm excited to see. Is I've been thinking about getting a second power wall myself, and this would completely prevent the need to do that, as assuming my Powerwall works, is it's a little bit older one. With this, that's essentially being able to pull 15 kilowatts from the grid continuously, assuming it stacks with the Cybertruck, and then just having multiple days of backup power without needing to buy the Powerwall itself or do any modifications to the garage. The other thing is the dimensions were released. So the typical garage in the United States is about 18 feet by 20. It can go all the way up to 22 by 22 or 20 by 22 or some little bit larger 2-car garages. But the point of it is it will fit front to back with about 9 inches of clearance from the front of the where the garage ends and the back of the wall. So that's something to think about with your garage. This is 18 feet. 18.6 feet exactly. So that's leaving about 18 inches of space. So 9 in the front, 9 in the rear. And if you have storage systems, this is going to be pretty close and you'll have to be pretty exact. And so Tesla better figure out Tesla Vision, because since they removed the ultrasonic sensors, the whole parking sensors have been complete crap from the feedback from many owners, including my brother who purchased a Model 3 recently. It's just off by a few inches, and every inch matters with the Cybertruck, with leaving that little clearance. Since most storage systems are much deeper than 9 inches, you may have to remove those to fit the Cybertruck in. But if you don't have one, you may have some luck there if you wanted to park it inside. So the Cybertruck is finally here. You can order it, supposedly get it delivered next year. What do you think? Are you going to get one? Are you excited for it? They are saying the tax credit will apply. And even though they're making those claims on the main website that this may not apply to the Model 3, so reductions likely for certain vehicles. So they don't anticipate this applying to the Cybertruck, which does show here, but it is now available, and you'll start to see a ton of review videos and impressions online. So looking forward to those. Hope you enjoyed this update, and if this was helpful for you, and talk to you later. Take care.